How is everybody? How's everybody? Welcome to day two. Good to see you. So many of you back here with us today. All right. So if you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Arden, and I am a transformational vocal coach, which means that I don't just focus on technique. We're focusing on transforming the entire instrument, and that includes your artistry, your mindset, your skill set, all of the above. So I'm really glad those of you who were here yesterday, I see so many of you are back today. And some of you who weren't, some of you who weren't able to join yesterday, I hope you watched the replay. And yesterday I launched a little getting to know you poll, and some of you, I think I saw in the chat yesterday, weren't able to find it or get it. So I'm just going to launch it again today. If you're just joining us for the first time today, here, let me launch it. There we go. If you weren't with us yesterday, go ahead and fill it out. It just tells me it's a little bit about you. Make sure that I'm, tailoring the training to what people are really wanting, and also helps me to get to know you guys more. Or if you were here yesterday and you came later, you didn't get to fill it out. So go ahead, it's 6 questions. It's like super short. So if this is your first day, make sure to say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from, and make sure you do watch the replay from yesterday if you haven't. It's super important stuff on mind-body connection that you need to know if you didn't join us yesterday. So make sure you do that. Okay, so who did their meditation last night? Tell me in the chat. Say me. Who did your meditation last night? Let's see who did it. Say you did. Tell me in the chat. I want to know. Yes, awesome. All right, I see Lori did it, Barbara did it, Dawn did it, Kim did it, Eli did it. Nice. Melanie, Tila did it. Nice. Okay. Who did their meditation again this morning? So if you did it last night and you've already done it today, put 2 in the chat. Let me see who's done it 2 times already. Let's see who's like in it to win it. Yep, Judy did it. Melanie, not yet. It's all right. You have still more time. Awesome. Kay did it. Very good. Good. So you guys want to make sure that the meditation is something that you do and you condition each day. Okay. And if you did not, make sure it's in the workbook. You'll find it in the masterclass workbook. If there's anybody who doesn't have the workbook and hasn't downloaded that, just say so in the chat, and Ashley will make sure she gives you the link so that you can do it. Okay, Maria, no, it doesn't matter what time of day you do it. It just matters that you do it. So experiment. I personally like to do it in the morning. I like to do it like before my vocal practice. So, you come up with something that works for you, try it at different times of day. I personally don't like to meditate in the late afternoon or at night because I will fall asleep and I don't want to fall asleep during my meditation. So I tend to do it pretty much first thing after I get up in the morning, like after I've walked the dogs. Okay. So question, who did their thought exercise last night? So who dove into the homework last night? Who did your thought exercise? Tell me in the chat. Who did it? Heidi did it. Nice. Who else? Barbara? Yeah. Kim, Richie, Maria, Tila, Lori. I'm seeing the same names pop up. Like I know who's in this to really get the skills, get the shifts, get the transformation. This is awesome. Kathy, Christopher, if you don't have the workbook, Ashley's going to put the link in the chat for you guys. Nice. Earl, I see. Great, you guys. Okay. So if you didn't do the thought exercise yesterday, it's in the homework, it's in the workbook. Just make sure you do it because it's a really great way to start to understand why you are where you are with your voice, with your performing career, with your journey, with your singing. Okay, awesome. And Ashley, thank you for putting that in the chat. So for those of you who are saying that you didn't have the workbook, Ashley, just put the link in the chat where you can download it. And this is your guide for the next 7 days. It's where you have all the homework in there. There's links to PDFs. I'm sorry, links to MP3s and the meditations and the vocal exercises that we're going to be doing. So you definitely want to get that from the PDF. Okay. So celebrating you guys for your commitment and your accountability to this process. It's beautiful. As you know, those who really get results in this process, they are showing up the following way. They're showing up committed, showing up to every session, watching the replays that very night if you couldn't, doing the homework after every session. They're showing up coachable, understanding that you don't know what you don't know, and being open and being willing to empty your cup, be coachable, do something different, right? Because if you continue to do the same things in the same ways, you're just going to keep getting the same results. And we are here to shift, to expand, to go beyond, right? So you're open, you're willing, you're coachable. Those who are getting big shifts show up resourceful. You know, it might not be easy to get here every day, guys, right? There's work obligations, family obligations, health stuff might come up. You could get sick, right? Life is in session. It is always going to be in session. So get creative. It's just 90 minutes of your day for 1 week out of your life to get the tools that can change everything for something that you really, really, really care about. So being resourceful to show up even when life is happening, and to condition that muscle of showing up to your passion, to your dreams, even when life is happening. Because guess what? It's always going to be happening. And if we're waiting for just the right time to, you know, come back to our talent, just the right time to audition, record, whatever it is, you guys, like someday, it's not a day on the calendar. Okay. So get resourceful. And I celebrate each and every one of you for embodying these things and for being here for day 2. All right, so I'm going to close the poll. Thank you guys for filling it out. For those of you who just did. Okay, there we go. Okay. So just a reminder that we have a scholarship contest going on. So if you attend every live training this week, you will get to throw your hat in the ring to win a huge scholarship that I'm announcing on Saturday for our flagship intensive training program. But to be eligible, you have to have attended every day of the workshop live here in the Zoom. And by the way, we can see who's here and who's not, right? So, and then at the end of the week, we will announce the winner live. So today, we are talking about some game-changing innovations for your technique. And this is in order to really be able to increase your impact. And most specifically, innovations in understanding your breath support. And so we have a lot to get to. But first, let's just go over some housekeeping. A reminder that replay links are sent each day via email, and they're also posted access in the Facebook group after each session. The homework link is for the workbook that Ashley just put in the chat. So when I'm referring to the homework, it's all in the workbook. Important, guys, the replays for all of our sessions this week, they disappear after the workshop is over, okay? So if you have to miss or be late or leave early, download the replays right away. Don't put it off because they go away on Sunday night. And so you have the rest of the week to watch. But I do this specifically because these things build on each other. And if you haven't watched the replays and you come 3 days, later, and I'm using terminology and you're like, wait, what is she talking about? The what, right? So I want to really make sure that you stay on top of this. It's just 1 week of your life, okay? So save your questions. We're going to train first, and then I will answer your questions. I guarantee you, if you just hold your questions to the end, I will probably answer it later on in the session. So hold your questions. We'll get to them towards the end. Train first. Make sure you have something to write with, have your workbook or something else, jot down your questions for later. Volunteers, there will be times that I ask for guinea pigs to sing and coach today on some of the breath support techniques that we're going to do. So just use the raise hand function in the reactions where it says react down below on your Zoom screen. That's the raise, you can find the raise hand function. And then very important reminder, this is a safe space. This is the safe space. So for those who volunteer to share and sing, we encourage bravery, vulnerability, and I have a 0 tolerance policy for any criticism, meanness, judgment in the chat, okay? Keep it positive, keep it reinforcing. All right. If you want to volunteer to be a guinea pig today, you have to make sure that your original sound is enabled, and then in the meeting, it is switched to on. So if you have any questions about how to do that, Ashley can tell you in the chat. Okay, with all that, who is ready for some innovations to create mastery around your breath support? Ooh, okay, I know, breath support, it's like a thing, right? And so there's just so much bad information about breath support, and we're just going to dispel a lot of this. And even those of you who have had probably really good training about breath support, I guarantee you, you will learn things that you didn't know today. So I'm going to give you all the concepts up front here, and I want to train you on the whole picture, because a lot of you probably have gaps in your technique around your support that you don't even realize that are sabotaging your impact. And so we're also going to get some of you up here to coach on it too today. So why is breath support important? That may be kind of like a duh question, right? Because we think about singing, we think about breath support. But the thing is, breath support is so important, guys, because 90% of the issues that are preventing you from accessing 100% of the potential in your voice are actually breath support issues. And 90% of the issues that make you feel insecure are actually breath support issues. Tension, breath support issue. Stamina, breath support. High notes, agility, breath support, mixing, transitioning between registers, pitch issues, if you're flat or if you're sharp. Yes, it's not your ear. Most of the time, when we fix the support, the pitch issues go away. Inconsistency, strain, confidence issues, breath support. And guess what? If there's confidence issues, then there are career issues because you're not putting yourself out there. So let's get down to foundations here, because if you're going to learn how to make a bigger impact, we've got to address this pronto. So let's do it. So I want to go back to fundamentals here for a minute. And before some of you roll your eyes and you're like, Arden, I've already been taught support for years. I already know the fundamentals. Remember what we said yesterday, that those who get the biggest breakthroughs here are showing up understanding that you don't know what you don't know. So empty your cup and approach this with beginner's mind. So let's talk about the anatomy of support for a second, okay? So let's talk about your diaphragm, right? Everybody talks about breath support, your diaphragm, your diaphragm. So where's your diaphragm? Anybody know? Where's your diaphragm? Yep, I see people kind of gesturing under the lungs. I see Heidi, yes, okay. So diaphragm is here, okay? And it sits right under your rib cage, okay? And if you were to like saw me in half and like take off my top and look down at this, you'd see this dome-shaped diaphragm that is what separates your thorax from where your lungs are from your viscus, which is where your intestines and your kidneys and your liver and everything else is, okay? And this dome-shaped diaphragm sits right under your rib cage, okay? And the thing about the diaphragm is that it's very important for the production of sound, but we don't have very many nerve endings in our diaphragm. So it's very hard to feel it, okay? So when you have a professional voice teacher or somebody expert who says, use your diaphragm, like how many of you have heard that? How many of you have been told, use your diaphragm? Let me see you in the chat. Who's been told that? Use your diaphragm, right? Okay. Yes, the diaphragm is super important, but if you don't have a lot of nerve endings in it, you can't feel it so much. Singers get all up in there doing all kinds of manipulations to try to like feel this thing, to like use this thing, and it just completely like sabotages everything that we really need the diaphragm to do effectively. So here's how the diaphragm works. When you inhale, this bowl-like muscle, so the diaphragm, it looks like a plunger, like a bowl, and it tucks in to all of the muscles around the front and in the back of your abdomen and in your back. And this dome-shaped diaphragm, when you inhale, it inverts to become like a bowl to make room for the lungs that are filling with air. Now, when you exhale, the bowl of the diaphragmatic muscle returns back to being a dome. And it's that action from the bowl to the dome that slowly pushes air, pushes your lungs up, It acts like a syringe. You know, the bottom of the syringe pushes up and pushes the, right? So the diaphragm slowly rises back from the bowl to the dome, pushes the air out of your lungs so that it either just normal breath or that it vibrates your vocal cords for speech or for singing. So I said that you can't really feel your diaphragm, and so yet it's very important for the production of sound. So how can we control the diaphragm if it's something that we don't feel? And so here's what's super important about understanding the diaphragm, okay? And this is concept number 1 for today, okay? So remember I said that your diaphragm tucks into all these muscles around your torso and in your abdomen. Now, it's hard to feel the control of the diaphragm itself, but what you can feel very readily are all the muscles that it connects to. So when we're talking about breath support, what we're really talking about is the muscles around the diaphragm that support the diaphragm to stay low and move slow. Okay, that's concept number 1. Breath support is about the muscles around the diaphragm that support the diaphragm to stay low and move slow. And here's why that's so important. Because I just said the diaphragm inverts to make room for the lungs that are filling with air. If this diaphragm immediately pushes back up really fast, it's going to push all the air out of your lungs very quickly. You're going to get out of breath before you want to be. The sound is going to be airy, and you're going to create a lot of tension and strain up here, trying to mitigate all that massive flood of air that's been pushed out, that's being flooded out because the diaphragm is doing this too quickly and pushing all the air out of your lungs, okay? Now, if we use the muscles of support that we can feel, that connect to this diaphragm, namely, we're going to go more into these in your abdominals, your obliques, your rectus abdominis, your back muscles, all these muscles that connect to the diaphragm, we can affect the diaphragm not to move up so fast and not to push out all the air so quickly. You guys, you don't need a lot of air to sing. You need a very focused, narrow, steady stream of air. It's like this, okay? Most of you think you need so much air to sing, and so you just flood out so much air, and there's so many negative consequences from that. Everything that I listed, tension, strain, pitch issues, like all that stuff, okay, is because you're moving too much air, because the muscles of support are not helping your diaphragm to stay low and move slowly and gently to push just a very tiny volume of air and velocity of air up through your cords, okay? So it is the velocity of air, the speed of air, and the volume of air, the amount of air that vibrates your vocal cords the most efficiently, that create what we call the optimum amount of subglottal pressure, meaning air pressure coming up through your vocal cords, and then cycling that air in what we call supraglottal pressure once it passes through the vocal cords. It's the optimum amount of subglottal and supraglottal pressure that vibrates your cords the most efficiently for the sound that we want. So if you think about, like, an example that I like to give all the time is a flag in a gentle breeze just oscillates like very steady, very beautifully, okay? A flag in a hurricane with all that air and that wind, like it can't do that. It just bleh, right? Most of you, because you don't have tools to manage the support, you end up creating a hurricane and all of the negative dominoes that fall from that. Out of breath before you want to be, tension and strain, pitch issues, airy sound, you name it, okay? So if we're coming back to the idea of these are the muscles that support the diaphragm to stay low and move slow, let's get really specific and connected to what they are. So first, I want you guys to notice these muscles. So you find your obliques. We're going to start with the obliques, okay? So you're going to put your hands on your obliques. Your obliques are these diagonal muscles. Like if you watch the Olympics and you watch the swimmers, they're like super cut, right? Those are your obliques, okay? So I want you to put your hands on yourself. And I want you to pretend like you're shushing a dog. You're just gonna go shh, shh, shh. I want you to notice how these muscles fire. They fire when you shush the dog. Shh, shh. You can see my muscles doing it if you look closely. Shh, shh, shh. Okay, so shush the dog and get present to your obliques, okay? All right, feel that. Now, obliques important. Now let's find rectus abdominis, six-pack muscles. Take your hand and put it vertically down your six-pack, like from where your ribs part, right here. And again, shush the dog. Shh, shh, shh. And feel those muscles engage, okay? Rectus abdominis. Now, transverse abdominis. Right below your belly button. Here's my belly button. Right down here. Put your hand here. Shush the dog. Shh, shh, shh. Feel those muscles. Flex, 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 okay? Now also back muscles as well. So find the top of your hip, find the bottom of your rib, those soft muscles right in there. Take the palm of your hand, put it right there, and shush the dog. Shh, shh. And you'll feel it a little bit differently in your back, but you will feel those back muscles going like boop, boop, okay? Just like that. Now, those are the lower abdominal muscles of support, okay? What really matters here when it comes to how we use these muscles is that you can direct a muscular engagement in one of two ways. You can either contract the muscle or you can flex the muscle, okay? So I can contract the muscles of my hand or I can flex the muscles of my hand. Either way, I'm engaging those muscles, but the direction matters for singing, okay? So all those muscles that you just identified, you can contract them, which if I shush the dog and I contract these muscles, this is what it looks like. Shh, shh, shh. That's a contraction, but we don't want that for singing. Why? Because what does it do to your diaphragm? If I push these muscles in, it shoves my diaphragm up with way too much force and way too much speed, and it pushes way too much air out, okay? We want to engage the muscles of support the other way. We want to flex the muscles of support, not contract them. So if I shush the dog and I flex, if I put my hands here, and I want you guys to do this too, and I want you to flex the muscles into your hand. Shh, shh. Like if you watch my side obliques, you can really see it go this way. Shh. You can see my rectus do it too. It goes out. Shh, shh. You can see this whole thing, if you're really paying attention, is flexing down and out instead of contracting. So I'm still moving air, but what I'm doing by engaging the down and out flex of those muscles is instead of my diaphragm that has lowered because I took a breath, shoving all the way up because I'm pushing these muscles in, which shoves the diaphragm up, instead, the diaphragm is just going boop, shh, 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 just a tiny little bit, just moving a tiny little bit of air, okay? So you guys, that is concept number 2 for today. And if you're taking notes in your workbook, this is super important right there. The muscles of support need to flex, not contract. That's concept number 2 for today, okay? So let's pause on that for a second, and I want to talk about the inhale, okay? So what we were just talking about is about the exhale, right? So breath support is 2 different things. It's really 90% about what happens when you're moving air out of your body. Supporting the diaphragm to what? Stay low and move slow when you're moving air out of your body, okay? But the inhale is also important because if we don't have a free inhale, then we're screwed before we've even started to move air out, okay? So the anatomy of the inhale has to do with your lungs, has to do with your ribs, okay? So this is one of the things that like drives me crazy all the time. So concept number 3 is about your inhale. Your lungs are in your back. They're not in your belly. So how many times have you heard of an expert vocal coach say belly breathing? How many of you were taught belly breathing? Let me see in the chat. How many of you were taught belly breathing? Let's see how, yeah, okay. Danny, Heidi, Maya, Kim, yep, Barbara, totally. Okay, yeah. So you see how prevalent this is. And like, I get why they're telling you that, because what they don't want is they don't want a breath that looks like this. They don't want, right? They don't want that because that's not constructive at all. But when singers are taught belly breathing, what you end up doing is like trying to shove air into a place where you don't have lungs. Like you end up trying to push your belly out and you guys, ain't no lungs in your belly. Ain't no lungs in your belly. And I know that might seem like, duh, okay? But you guys, this is just science. Like most vocal coaches, like they drives me crazy because they like say things and do things that like are counterintuitive to science. You know how to breathe. Your body was built to make sound. And yet when you think belly breathe, you try to force your body into a contortion, into doing a thing that doesn't serve what you're trying to do. So where are your lungs? They're in your back. Okay. So if you think about the shape of your rib cage, you know, like the ribs stop here in the front, but they go all the way down in the back. Why is that? Because your rib cage is there to protect your lungs. And your lungs stop here in the front, and your lungs go all the way down into the back. Okay. So I want you guys to feel what a back body breath feels like. So we're going to do what we call a ragdoll breath exercise. So you're going to stand up and you're going to roll down. So you guys, I'm wearing my yoga clothes today so you can like really see all the muscles of when we do this. Okay. So you're going to roll down and you're going to let your head dangle, and you're going to have a little bend to your knees, and you're going to let the weight of your head pull out your neck. You're going to let the weight of your arms pull out your shoulders, and you're just going to dangle. Okay. And as you dangle, I want you to feel a breath come into your back body. It's almost like you feel the back ribs as you breathe. Send that breath up into your back, like up towards the ceiling. So you can watch me do it. You can see my back expand as I breathe. So try it. Do a couple back body breaths and keep your head nice and soft. And let it go. Good. Starts to feel where you send the air. Notice how your back expands. Notice that sensation of the breath going into those back lungs. Okay. So now you're going to roll up and you're going to stand normal. And I want you to do a nose breath into your back body in the same way that you just felt when you were rolled down in the ragdoll. Okay. So if you watch me, you can really see that the breath is going here, not here. So watch. I have to release my belly to do that. I can't hold my belly. I can't pooch my belly. Then nothing is going to happen. So don't even focus on your belly. Just release everything here and send a nose breath into your back, just like you did when you were doing the ragdoll, and really feel that. Yeah. Like imagine that I'm standing behind you and I have my hands, my palms, like on your back ribs, right? And imagine breathing into my hands. Imagine sending that breath into my hands. Okay. So guys, this is really important because it's really helping you feel the release and the expansion of your ribs on the inhale. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you don't want to let the breath come above your armpits. So the way I like to feel the inhale is that the breath is coming in and down. It's like pouring in this way and going like this. Instead, a lot of people tend to feel that the breath fills up. And if you do that, you're going to feel it above your armpits and you're going to start to constrict. So for example, I can have a nice back body breath. And did you see how it stopped here? Now I can keep going, but you see how it takes me like this, right? And that's over breathing, guys. That's over breathing. That's tanking up. You do not need a lot of air to sing, right? What do we say? It's a very narrow, steady stream, okay? So most of you are so used to tanking up because you're not efficient with your air when you're in the phrase. So you're leaking left and right because you're probably contracting, or you're not steady and you're lean. And so too much air is moving out. And so then you feel like the next breath, you just feel like, oh, I'm just not getting enough air. No, that's never the problem, that you're not getting enough air. 20% of the time, that's the problem. 80% of the time, it's that you're not being efficient in using the air that you have. So you're running out too quickly. And then you think, oh, I didn't take a good enough breath. When really, your breath was fine. You need to be better with your support. But when that thinking's going on, then the inhale does become a problem because you start to think you need to take bigger and bigger and bigger breaths. And so what would have been just a nice life breath into your back becomes this. And you're, ugh. So the reason people say belly breathing is because they don't want you to do that. but they end up just creating a whole host of other problems because they're not talking about where the breath really belongs. And that's your back. Okay. So that is concept number 3 today. No lungs in your belly, lungs in your back. Expansion of ribs, send the breath into the back body. Now, concept number 4 is I was alluding to, the inhale is a release. It is not your job to pull and take air into your body. I hate that phrase, take a breath. Hate it, because it implies a violence, a doing a, and look, what just happened to my body? Ugh. Okay, versus the inhale is a release. If you understand science, you do not have to help bring air into your body. It is the law of equilibrium. Remember high school science, high school physics, right? Law of equilibrium. When the pressure of a gas on one side of a membrane is different than the pressure of the gas on the other side of the membrane, the gas wants to equalize. Law of equilibrium, okay? So by the same token, when the air pressure inside your lungs is different than the air pressure outside your body because it's time to breathe, you do not have to help pull air into your body. All you have to do is release, open up, create space, and the air will come in. It wants to be in your body because of the law of equilibrium. Air pressure in your lungs, different than air pressure outside. Release, open up, the air will come in on its own. You do not need to help yourself bring air into the body. So do not take a breath. Let the breath come in, okay? And so in order to do that, we need to release. So you were just engaging in that flex that we talked about. If you were singing, you're engaging in that flex. You got to let that go. First of all, you got to let that go to let the air come in for an inhale. So it's release your belly, release your ribs, release your neck, release your throat, release your jaw, all just, and the air will come into your body, okay? Because when we do, we're also creating tension. And what did we learn yesterday? Tension is the enemy of the singer because it creates a block in the energy. And with that block in that energy, now the sound is affected and the impact is affected, and the outcomes that you want from your singing career are not traveling in the direction that's successful, okay? So let the breath come in. No more take a breath. Like even the language that you talk to yourself around these things when you're, working on your technique and you're working on your songs. No more, oh, I have to take a breath here. Nope. Oh, I got to let a breath come in here. Because it really, really matters the more you condition that. Because why? Your body's always only responding to what your brain is saying to it. So if you're saying take a breath, you will take it and you will, and then it's not constructive. Okay. So condition the new energy behind let the breath come in and know that science is on your side here. Like this is how you breathe all day, every day. You guys, you know how to breathe. Do you walk down the street going, like I feel lightheaded after demonstrating that. You pass out because that's not what your body was built to do. Okay. So much of this is learning to undo inefficient things that you either were taught by somebody who didn't know any better or that you thought that you had to do just of your own accord. So let the breath come in. You already know how to breathe. You do it all day, every day. Get in touch with your back. Okay, so that's the inhale. So now I want to put these concepts together. You release on the inhale, and then you flex to engage and move air. So we're just going to do this on a hiss for right now, okay? And I'm really breaking this down for you guys, super simple right now, because I want you to go back to the basics. I really, really want you to understand what your body is doing. You release on the inhale, and then you engage the flex on a hiss, okay? So what a hiss is, it's just like an S, like a snake, okay? And understanding the off, meaning when you're not engaging these muscles, but you're releasing on the inhale, and then understanding the on, which is the flex to move air. So the release on the inhale, and then the on. Oh, I need to put my original sound on. Hold on. Okay. The release on the inhale, and then the flex for the hiss. So we're going to do a hissing exercise. And what we're using the hiss for is understanding how to support over a duration, okay? So you guys, if you go back to the muscles that we were talking about, okay, you can do a short little shush, like we were talking about the shush the dog, shh, 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 and feel those flexes, right? Rather than contract. I'm not going shh, shh, right? I'm flexing, shh, 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 all of these. But we need to learn how to do that over a duration, right? Because singing is moving the air over a duration. So to do this, we need to also understand what I call the upper part of the container of support. So if you think about the container of support, what I'm talking about is like a metaphor of this entire torso, which includes ribs, it includes the muscles of support that we were just talking about, lower back, and it also includes pelvic floor. Okay, so when we talk about the ribs are super important because they can get in the way if we're not present to it. Okay, so a lot of singers, without realizing it, use their intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between the ribs. They will contract their intercostal muscles to push the ribs around the lungs to push air out. But think about it. If you think about where your diaphragm is, so your diaphragm sits in here. So if your diaphragm has lowered and your ribs have expanded, and then you go to make sound and you whack your ribs in, what does it do to the diaphragm? It pushes the diaphragm up really quickly, and it's a lot of heavy bones pushing around your ribs, and you're gonna flood out too much air. You're gonna push way too much air out. So we need to understand that, you guys, your ribs are like not involved in this at all. We want the ribs to be nice and buoyant. So what we wanna imagine is, I want you to imagine that you have like a strapless belt or a strapless bra like tied around, or like around you, and it's hooked like one size too big. And so as you inhale, you can release your ribs to expand to fill up this container. Like ladies, any of you worn like a strapless dress or a strapless bra or something, it's like one size too big, and you have to keep it up, to like keep it from falling down. Notice, do you see how I'm still talking to you and my ribs haven't fallen down? Because I've trained my container not to collapse. Now, I can let it go. So I can either hiss like this, which has a really solid container, or I can hiss like this, which compromises my container. If I did that, my bra would be down around my knees. My dress would be around my knees, right? So this is the idea of starting the idea of appoggio, okay? So what appoggio is it's a bel canto classical singing technique that is not specific to classical singers, okay? That helps you to maintain your container of support. So we do not want to compromise this container. So I can compromise my container in the way I just showed you by collapsing my ribs. So now the container is cut off here, which then pushes too much air and compromises the diaphragm. I can compromise my container by doing what we were doing before, by pushing in, okay? I can also compromise my container by taking my sternum and dipping it this way, okay? So we don't want to compromise the container, because the only thing we care about is keeping the diaphragm low and moving slow. And all of those ways, by contracting, by collapsing, are ways that compromise the diaphragm from staying low and moving slow. And so when we talk about appoggio, what appoggio means, literally, those of you who speak Spanish or Italian, it means to lean, apoyar, to lean, appoggiare in Italian, to lean, okay? And what we want to do is we want to create this beautiful container on the inhale. We're release into this container. And then when we go to hiss or make sound eventually, we want to lean into this container to keep the integrity of this container from compromising the diaphragm and from compromising the airflow, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to find, whoops, let me move this so I can see myself better. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to find your lat, right, your back lat, and I want you to wrap one arm around your back lat. So ladies, kind of get under your bra line, find your back lat. And also just relax your shoulders as best you can. Try not to be like all here, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to do a nose breath. And the only reason I'm having you guys do nose breaths, it's not like nose breath is better than mouth breath, but it slows your breath down so that you can feel things. So find a nose breath into your hand. So that would look like this. Okay, and remember, don't let the breath go above your armpits. So really feel what's going on under your hand when you breathe in and expand into your hand and release those ribs and find that expansive container. Good. Okay, so then I want you to hiss, and I want you to hiss into your hand. So you're going to engage this feeling of upper rib cage so that you don't let the metaphorical bra or metaphorical belt that's hooked one size too big fall down. Because if you do this, right, that belt's going to fall right down, okay? So wrap around, find your lat, and you're going to hiss over a duration into your palm, and don't let the bra fall down. Okay, so if you're having trouble with this, also a reminder, these lower muscles of support are at work. So you can put another hand here, and you want to feel muscles of support, container down here and container up here, flowing gently, leaning, engaging, flexing through the palm of your hands over the course of the hiss. If you feel these side muscles or these muscles recede away from your hand, then you're contracting instead of flexing, okay? So this is a really important hissing exercise, and connect brain to body. So really notice what's going on under my hand. Do I feel my ribs collapsing? When do I feel it? Do I feel my lower muscles of support going from flex to contract? When do I feel that? Okay. And you guys, like, that flow through, that is what is happening when you sing at all times. So set it up on a hiss first. And so the first exercise here is an on-off hissing exercise. And you hiss for 4 beats, and then you let the inhale, which is what? A release, come in. So you're on and flexing through the muscles in the container of the support as you hiss. And you guys, it's not something that you whack and then you hold. Okay, this is not like, okay, you will be very uncomfortable and that won't work for you. It's the gentle consistency of the lean and the flex through those muscles over the course of the phrase. Gentle, consistent, okay? It's not about force. It's about consistency. So we do a few of them. We do a 4-beat hiss, and then we release and we let the breath come in, which means we release the belly, we release the ribs, we release all the rest of it, and we don't have to do anything. When we hit that release, air will come in. So what it looks like is, actually, I'm going to do it without my hands so you can actually see my body, okay? So it looks like this. You can really see my engagement if you look at my flank here, okay? So a couple things to watch out for as you're practicing the on-off hissing, okay? I don't want you to focus on the middle of your belly at all, okay? It's not about here. I want you to focus on engaging the muscles of support around this. That flex, it's what's going on around this. Otherwise, you're going to try to pooch out your belly, and that's not going to work, okay? It's a feeling of gentle down and out flex around, not in the center. The other thing is, don't go too far pushing out your ribs. This feeling of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a feeling of like get out and push and stay out. Like I was saying, it's a feeling of flow through, okay? The other thing is be careful of your ribs collapsing or pushing in immediately. So if you see this or feel this with your hand, or if you practice in front of a mirror and you see this, like that's the opposite of apoyo. Resist, put your hand on your back on your body and send the hiss into your hand. Okay, so that's something to really, really look out for. Now, I will tell you that once you are about 60 to 75% of the way through your capacity of air, your ribs will ever so gently kind of fold in eventually. But that's something that we want to resist happening for as long as we can. But it is natural and it will happen eventually, but if you feel that happening within the first bit or within the first 60 to 70% of your capacity, then you're leaking, you're pushing too much air, okay? Because remember, your job is to keep the diaphragm stay low and move slow. And that is not gonna happen if we go, diaphragm immediately gets pushed up and the air pops up, okay? So that also brings me to concept number 6 for today, which is all of this beautiful flex and lean and the keeping the integrity of the container and your ribs and not letting the bra fall down, all of that, when you breathe, let it go. You have to release your support. You have to release your lean, your flex when you inhale, okay? Don't forget to do that. When you are hissing or phonating, you're on. When you breathe, you're off, okay? Okay. So from the hiss, now we're going to put a vibration on it. We're going to do some lip trills. So you guys know what lip trills are? Right? Propeller lips, okay? So the thing about lip trills, first, I don't want you to even do a lip trill until you feel like you can do this hiss without your container collapsing or without pushing in your flex, okay? Really consistent with your hiss. When you feel like you're consistent with that, then we put it on a lip trill. And we do the exact same thing. 4-beat lip trill. And then release, let air come in, and then do it again. But I want you to practice them back to back because I do not want you to change how you're using your container, how you're using your apoyo. So watch my body. It looks exactly the same on the hiss than it does on the flex. So here's my hiss. I'll get my arms out of the way so you can see. Okay, so that is step number 2, is going back and forth from the hiss to the lip trill and being very present, tapping into your witness, noticing, am I using my body the exact same way from the hiss to the lip trill? Do not change it just because you're making sound, okay? The most important thing though, when you go to put sound on it, is that you must support before you phonate. So that's concept number 7. Support before you phonate. So why is this important? Because if you start to phonate before your body is inherently supported that sound, now you are playing catch up and your body will contract and flood to support. So what do I mean by that? Support before you phonate means that you have started your flex, your flow through your flex, before you've made sound. So watch my body when I do the lip trill. You will see me engage my support before you hear the sound. Watch it. Okay? If I don't do that, then I'm starting the lip trill up here, and now I'm going to be in tension, and it's probably not going to start the way I want, or I'm going to get a flood of air first, and it's going to be like, you hear all the air first, right? If I'm doing that, then I'm trying to sing my way or lip trill my way into my support instead of the other way around, which is what we want you to do, which is to support your way into your lip trill, into your sound, okay? So the first exercise is to go back and forth from the hiss to the lip trill, making sure you support before you phonate, and then do not change how you're using your body between the hiss and the lip trill. So you'll do a few of those back to back. Watch yourself in the mirror, have hands on. And you'll notice like my container is rock solid here, okay? Now, once you feel like you've got that down, then we're going to start changing pitch with the lip trill. So we're gonna do a 1-5-1 on the lip trill, which sounds like 1-5-1, okay? And as we go from 1 to 5 to 1, come back to that idea of apoyo, of lean, okay? So when you go to change pitch and when you go to rise in pitch, your monkey mind is gonna go, oh shit, I need to help. I need to help push that pitch up. And what most singers do is they do this. And they try to push that pitch up. and they flood and they lose their lean, they flood, they run out of air, they've gotten rid of all of it, and most of the time your lip trill will stop. It like won't even, sorry, I thought I lost you guys for a second. Most of the time the lip trill will stop, like it won't even continue. And you guys, the lip trill is so essential for understanding support, for learning support, and for monitoring support, because your lips, the vibration of your lips approximates the vibration of your vocal cords. But the thing is, if you're just singing, you're getting like a sound that you don't like or a feeling that you don't like, but you don't really know what's going on because there's no external like metric. There's no external thing to let you know what's going on. But with a lip trill, if your support is not steady and consistent, your lips will stop vibrating. And then you immediately know, oh, something interrupted the air, right? Because the lips are just vibrating and approximating the vibration of your vocal cords. So if the lips stop or if it goes awry, right? Any of you that happened to you when you lip trill? Like, watch this. Watch my body when that happens. It's too much air. It's a flag in a hurricane. They can't vibrate because there's nothing steady, okay? So come back to this. Now, when you rise in pitch, do not change that gentle flex outwards and leaning down, okay? It's the same. What I don't do is, okay? It's the same, you guys. So here's where we really start to learn concept number 8, which is...
Hey, Arden, real quick.
Yeah.
We have someone visually impaired, so if you can give any more visual cues as you go along, that would really help them as well.
Oh, okay, I'll do my best.
Thank you.
So if you're doing the lip trill and as you rise in pitch, if you feel your ribs collapsing as you rise in pitch, that's created by the container of my ribs folding in and collapsing in and pushing too much air out of and it stops the lip trill. Because the lip trill is created by the exact right volume and velocity of air passing through the lips. As it does, we need the exact right volume and velocity passing through your vocal cords. So this is just showing you externally how you're doing with your velocity and volume of air to be that really efficient flow, okay? So the idea of do not change your support when you change pitch. You guys, if you learn anything from me at all in the next 7 days, this is it. Do not change support when you change pitch. I'm gonna have it like tattooed on my forehead. Because when you do that, if you change support every time you're changing pitch, number one, you're leaking left and right. You're not gonna make it to the end of the phrase. You feel insecure, and the worst part is that now you're in lots of tension because there's nothing supporting you down here. You think of something that supports something. It's consistent. It's steady. It's stable, right? The legs of a table, they support the table. They're here. Legs of the table don't move. But if you're changing pitch if you're changing support every time you're changing pitch, it's like the legs of the table flippy flopping, wobbling around, doing like this. That table's gonna fall down. That's not support, right? You wear a bra to support your girls so that they don't go all over the place, right? Okay, so when you're changing pitch on the lip trill, the one thing that I really want you to pay attention to is that it's the consistency of the support that matters, okay? So hands on your body, following, so one hand on your lat, one hand on your oblique, doing the 1-5-1, paying very good attention to witnessing what you feel under your hands, and put that lip trill into both hands. Support first and then flow through. So what that looks like, and then release to inhale, and then go up to the next pitch. So it might look to you like my body is not moving, like I am just rock solid. But I am not thinking, hold my body in place. I am not. What I am thinking is move and flow through my flex. When I think move and flow through my flex to keep the ribs nice and buoyant and open, to move my lower obliques and rectus abdominis and transverse abdominis so that I'm flexing and not contracting. When I think flow through, it keeps the integrity of the container. And so what you see is just, wow, she's solid. right? But I can't think solid, because if I do, then I'm going to hold. And you guys, that hold is not constructive. It's tension, okay? So that idea of flow through the support consistently, do not change it just because the pitch changes. Most of you, your support goes in the direction of the pitch. So you go, and then you want to push it up, okay? So this is an opportunity to really, really undo habits that have probably don't even realize that you have, okay? So a couple pitfalls to look for when you're doing the 1-5-1 hissing or lip trill exercise is just a reminder that you don't start the lip trill with your lips. Don't focus on your lips, okay? The lip trill starts here. This is your gas pedal, those lower feeling of support. And we do that first. That's why we engage first. That's my gas pedal, okay? So that's the first thing, little pitfall to be aware of. Start your trill with your support, not your lips. The other thing is, if you're having a little trouble with this, you can think B instead of P. So B and P are voiced unvoiced equivalents, B and P. It's the same action, it's just one is voiced and one is not. And if you're having a little trouble with this, don't think P, P, okay? Number one, you're focusing on your lips, you're not focusing on your support. And number two, P is an unvoiced plosive consonant, and it's gonna cause you to push too much air and explode too much air. So what I like to do is tell singers to think B, 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 and the B doesn't live up here. The B lives down, like you have lots of little bees floating around down here in the girdle, in your pelvic girdle, and your job is to just tap one of those bees and flow through it. Okay, so those are some things that you can just use to mitigate any pitfalls. Okay, you guys with me? I know this is a lot of information, but it's really essential. So once you've done the hissing, and then the hissing and the lip trills back to back, and then the 1-5-1 lip trills, then what we do is we're going to add syllables. But just because we're adding syllables, do not change how you're using your body. This is the thing, guys. This is where most high-level singers get sabotaged, because your mind is going to want to convince your body, oh, now we're singing. We're on syllables. We're singing now. We got to make it sound good. And then all the things that you discovered in your thought exercise last night, all the ways that you don't want to fail, are going to come rushing back in, because now we're on syllables. Now we're singing. And so all the habits of make, force, do, manipulate that have sabotaged the consistency of your support in the past are going to try to come back in. And so we are not singing right now. Do not think of it as singing. We are just vibrating on pitch, okay? So instead of doing the lip trill that we were doing, okay, we're going to do a mamo moo scale. And it's going to be mamo moo. We're still going from here to here to here. It's exactly the same as the lip trill, right? But now we're adding syllables. So get present in the moment of your body. Direct yourself to use your body in the exact same way in your apoggio. Release on the inhale, lean on the apoggio, flow through on the apoggio, exact same way you did on the lip trills. And then we're going to use the progression to set your body up. So you're going to go hiss first, you're going to go lip trill second, and you're going to go one mamo moo scale. So it's going to be mamo moo. So I did back to back. And the only way this works, guys, is if you're present to making sure that you are using your body the same way from hiss to lip trill to mamo moo, okay? So I want you to think of this as one thing, the mamo moo. Because mind is going to go, oh, we're articulating pitches now. Oh, we're changing syllables now. So it's 5 different things. Mamo moo, 9 different things. But it's not. Because if I think of it as 9 different things, what's my body going to do? It's going to do this. Mamo moo. Okay? One send. Like a single bow. Like if you were a violin player, one bow. Mamo moo. You don't see my body changing in exactly the same way as I did. Okay? So that idea of single bow, instead of like on a violin. 1, okay? That feeling of that single bow, that is the bow is your lean, is gentle and consistent. And then don't forget to release your support, release your flex and your lean when you inhale. The inhale is the release. And then being in that way of bringing present moment awareness to the moment of singing. And then ask yourself, where did I lose my lean? Where did I lose my flex? Let me see if I can pay attention to that. Where did I lose my release on the inhale? Okay, so I know that was like a ton of information, but when you actually put it into practice and you start to recognize how all of these things are just kind of connected, when it hooks in, it just hooks in and it feels really good, you guys. So let's see how you're putting this into play in your body. So who'd like to be a guinea pig, a volunteer, to put some of these tools into play in one of their songs? It could be just a verse of something or a chorus of something, and you guys use the raise hand function. Okay, sorry, I need to adjust my screen so I can see you guys. Okay, great. Okay, so the first hand I saw was Legacy, so go ahead and unmute, Legacy.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to meet you too.
So do you have like a verse of something or a chorus of something, and we're gonna sort of play backwards with it, okay? So let's
yeah, I can sing. Here, I'm gonna sing No One by Alicia Keys because my friend asked me to sing the other day, so first thing came to mind.
Okay, so let's just do like a snippet of it, like a verse or a chorus that might,
I just want you close, but we can stay forever. You and me together through the days and nights. I don't worry 'cause everything's gonna be all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. That's great. Okay. So what I would love for you to do is go. Are you standing or are you sitting?
I'm sitting.
Here. Okay, go ahead and stand up.
Okay, let me sit this somewhere where it's not gonna fall on me. Okay.
Okay, cool. Great. So I want you to find a lip trill, and let's just find a 1-5-1 lip trill just like we were doing for a second. Let's see how you're doing with that. It's about the key of the song. Okay. So what did you notice about that?
It didn't sound the same.
Yeah, but so what's happening to Legacy might also be happening to you guys is that you're supporting on the first pitch, but then you pull off your support for a second before you go up to the second pitch, and then your body's like, oh shit, and then you had to gun it, and then you whacked it, and then it kicked you off, and that's why we got that little flubby cracky thing at the top. Did you notice that? Right? Okay, right. Because what'd she do? She changed her support in order to change pitch, and that's what we want to inhibit, right? What's tattooed on my forehead, right? Don't change support when you change pitch. Okay, so find your ribs. Okay, and find your oblique.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, and I want you to lip trill, and I want you to send the rise in pitch down and out into your hands. Try it. So tell me, what did you feel under your hands?
My back, I don't know.
Okay, so let's do it again. And I don't want you to concern yourself with the way it sounds. I don't really care how it sounds right now. I really want you to connect brain to body right now. And I want you to follow your ribs, and you're a little bit in the front and you're a little low. Like, see if you can really wrap around. I want you to find your back. Okay? Yep. There you go. Okay. So I want you to really just witness what's going on under both hands. See if you can see at what point in the phrase do you stop leaning and do you start, receding away from your hands. See if you can tell when that happens. Oh, that was better. What did you notice about that?
Less force.
Right. The force, it was the old habit that convinced you that you needed to force and push more air to go up. And when you go back and you watch the recording of this, you're going to notice that that lip trill that you just did was a much more focused resonance. It wasn't as airy. Okay, so let's do it again. And I want you to do a few in a row. So here, I'll give you the pitch. So we're just going to do, and then we're going to go up to the next one, okay?
Okay.
So again, don't worry about how it sounds. I don't care. I just want you to focus on what am I noticing under my hand.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it one more time, and I'm going to invite you to release on the inhale. Right now, the inhale is a rush. It's a I'm exaggerating, okay? But like I'm gonna wait for you. We're retraining your body right now, okay? And we're retraining your mind. So you get to take the time to release on that breath. It's a short little phrase. Like you do not have to tank up on this breath. Just release your body and let a life breath come into your back and then flow through into your hands. Good. So do you notice how your head is trying to help you pull up the pitch? Do you notice that? And then, by the way, like, this is so common, you guys, like, you're not the only one, right? Because right now, your support is flowing through, but we want it to, as the pitch goes up, we want to really direct the energy away from the direction of the pitch. So pitch is going up, and so your body starts like this, and then it's like you're doing the right thing, but your body doesn't trust that it's enough, so now you're trying to like do it here, right? Okay, so can you think into your hands? I want you to gently increase, gently being the operative word, gently increase that down and out sensation into your hands as you rise. Okay, and again, it's not the middle. Take your hand off the middle. Side.
Okay.
Yep, okay. So can you put a hiss into your palms? Good. Now, gently increase that, and that will help you rise in pitch without needing to do this, okay? Down to go up. That. What did that feel like to you?
It was more like to the side.
Okay.
Yeah,
you felt more of these muscles here engaging?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So remember that, guys, okay? Because your job is to recreate the feeling of the good sound, not the sound of the good sound. You need to create muscle memory, so you need to know, oh, what was I doing? Okay, I'm going to do that every time I practice, okay? So we're going to do a few, and that's where your focus is, okay?
Okay.
But don't rush. Do you feel how you want to rush? Right? Okay? Girl,
Okay.
you get to take up time and space. I will wait. This is your house, okay? Life breath. Let's do it one more time. That was 3 hits of support. Did you notice that?
Okay.
Okay, so not, nope. As gooey as you can make it, because it's one bow. It's not,
Okay.
It's one, okay? Let's go up a half step. Yeah, much more slide. I want to hear all the semitones in between. Yes, because when you do it the other way, Legacy, you support this pitch, and you support this pitch, and I lose you in between. I want to hear the slur and the slide. I want to hear all those semitones because we're training your body not to stop supporting just because you're moving and changing pitches, okay? Try.
Okay.
You caught it. Do you feel that? It's like, oh my God, here I go. Yeah, but that's a mindset thing, guys, right? Like what I'm giving you, this piece of you get to take up time and space. You do. Okay, here you go. Can you really goop it up? The way I'm creating that is by leaning into my flex. Yes, that's way better. Okay, but now this is just an idea. It is not. You're so cute. Here we go. You're like, right? You don't. This is an isolated idea. We're not going up, you guys. Their pitch doesn't exist in physical space. High note is not up here. Okay, put the high note where you know it's going to live to support it, which is down, flex, and out. Okay. Down to go up. Do it one more time. Slide down. There you go. Okay, now as gooey as you can make it. I want to hear all the semitones. Right. When you think gooey, it works for you. It connects you so that you're not like on and off the support. Okay. So now we're going to go back down to here. And we're going to do the same feeling of gooey that you just felt on the lip trill. Now we're going to put the syllables on it. But don't change that gooey slide down into your support just because now we're articulating. Uh-huh. Okay. Bring your awareness back to here because I saw you. Okay. So you guys don't compromise the container. Flow through your container in one direction, down and out over the course of the phrase. Try it again. You're doing great. Uh-huh. Now what if I said to you, more tone, less air? Do that experiment. Feel what that could be like in your body. More tone, less air. Yeah, so it's skewed a little bit flat. Let's do it again. Okay. Good. Okay, I like where you're starting with this. Now, let's make it super gooey so that we don't hear okay? You can, if you put your hand here, and I want you to put the whole thing right into your palm. Send it into your palm. You can see me do it. I don't know. I think you can see that kind of flexing. See if you can play with that feeling in your own body into your palm. Did you guys notice how her sound got less airy? Did you notice that, Legacy? Okay. The sound was good, but that's not where we want to focus. What did that feel like in your body? What did you notice? What did it feel like? Was there an image, a sensation, something that you can recreate in your own practice?
Okay.
Can you describe it?
Like a bubble.
Okay. What's the bubble doing?
It's expanding.
Okay. Yeah, and this is like not for me. This is for you to be able to like have something to grab onto. So when you practice, you're like, oh, right, that was the feeling of the bubble. Okay, I remember that. Mama. Okay, so can you do it on a side? Can you just like chant a siren, ma, right into your
Ma.
But that was a fling. Did you notice? Right? Right? Find your siren, find your support, find your lip trill. Do it on a lip trill. Good. You've got it on the lip trill. Now, do not change how you're using your body when you rise and fall in pitch on the ma, mo, moo. Try it.
Ma, mo, moo.
Yeah. More tone, less air. Into your hands. Do it again.
Ma, mo, moo.
Yes. Do you realize there's like another tick on the dial of engagement that happens? Can you describe that?
Yeah, it's almost more like I'm singing from like the top of like my, I don't want to say throat, but like the top of like my
soft
palate.
palate?
I don't know, like top. Yeah, soft palate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's something interesting, and we're going to talk about resonance, shape, and space tomorrow. But what's interesting is that when the way you were doing it before, when you didn't have that feeling, and that's a good feeling, when you didn't have that, it was because there was too much air coming up, too much air flowing up, and you couldn't feel your space because it was, okay? So what you just did is, in that extra tick on the dial of engagement, is you're keeping the diaphragm lower and slower. That's your job. So that it's just this narrow, steady stream that now you can feel all of that great pingy resonance, and we certainly hear it a lot more too because it's not flooded with all this extra air, okay? Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes, keep working on that. Keep working on that. Okay, great. Oh, you guys are so cute in the chat. Okay, let's see. Camellia, you're up. Let's see. Where's Camilla? Am I pronouncing
Camilla?
it correctly?
Me?
Camilla. Oh, it's Camilla. Hi. I know you. I just met her like last week. We had a first call about what was going on with her voice. Okay, so I know you've had a lot of training, but let's see how this is embodying in your own. So let's go back to back from lip trill to the mamo moo. Okay, so let's start. You're mezzo, right? Where do you usually start warming up? Where in the scale? Okay.
I like an E above middle C.
E above middle C?
Yeah.
Okay. So same. Okay. Okay. So first, are you able to back up a little bit so I can see a little bit more of you?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay,
Is that better?
cool. Yeah. Okay. So what I notice is I notice a lot of downward pressure on your larynx.
Okay.
I notice it more when you're on syllables than when you're on the lip trill. When you're on the lip trill, what I notice, so can you do the lip trill again? And I want you to witness your tongue. And can you tell me if you notice anything about your tongue, if your tongue is moving or vibrating? Can you do the lip trill and let me notice what you notice in your tongue? Is your tongue also vibrating?
Pardon?
Is your tongue also vibrating?
Not that I noticed. No, it was kind of just there.
Because it's not, okay. I just want to make sure. It sounds like you're doing a lip trill and a tongue trill at the same time.
Oh. Not intentionally, and not that I noticed. Like my tongue just felt like it was.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, so let's do it again. And I want you to really feel your body. So I want you to wrap one around, one here. Okay? Yep. And I really want you to set that up, Joe. I want you to visualize. So there's something that we call inhale to inhale. So when you inhale, what's the gesture of inhalation? Expansion.
Yeah,
the gesture of inhalation is expansion. And the gesture of exhalation, of when air is moving out of your body, is traditionally contraction or collapse or whatever, right? So it's like expansion is the gesture of inhale, and contraction is usually the gesture of the exhale for people who are not singers, okay?
Yeah.
But for singers, we want this idea of inhale to inhale. So we want to phonate on the gesture of inhalation. So right now you're kind of in between. So the gesture of inhalation is that container, that moving through the container in all directions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like you're moving through. I feel like you're kind of there, and you're kind of trying to hold it, okay? So I want you to put hands on, and I want you to visualize you expand on the inhale, and then as you go to phonate, even though the air is moving out of your body, I still want you to move through that gesture of inhalation, which is the continued feeling of expansion, even as you do the lip trill. So move through it.
Yeah.
Don't set it and try to hold it out. Okay.
Like keep filling up the swim.
Yeah, and so I'm going to adjust the language here because I don't want you to view it as filling up, because then this is all gonna try to get involved to like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like inhale to inhale. Inhalata la voce, right? Like the air and the voice when you're phonating is not moving out of your body. It's continuing to come in. So it's almost like implode the lip trill in and this way. Try.
All right.
Okay, now do the ma, mo, on the same feeling, right into your palms. Okay, yeah, that's working better. Now I want to give you something just because I have you up here now. We're going to focus more on this tomorrow. But as you do it, as you do the mamomu, can you feel your top molars riding up into your brain the entire time? This is it this way.
Okay. Did it collapse then? It's
not that you collapse, is that you push down on your larynx. It's like almost like you're over darkening the sound. It was actually better this time. It was actually better this time until we got to the moo at the end.
Okay.
It was much better because you were managing this, and so you had more freedom up here because this was moving through. So let's find some momentum here, and let's move this in the opposite direction. So you have this moving this way and this opposing it. Try it. Yeah. Like you're kissing like moo. Can you kiss your finger and find your ooh? Yeah, ooh. You feel how it's like in your cheeks? Yeah, you like to go here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This like, puts too much pressure, okay? So what we're doing, you guys, is because she's moving her support this way, but all of the energy of her resonance is going in the direction of her support, and it's putting pressure on her larynx. So you've got a good idea of this now. This is moving this way, but so is this, and this needs to go the other way. Okay. So is there like a piece of your rep, like a phrase or two that tends to give you trouble with either with your support or with your resonance? Because this is all playing together, but I want to put it more into context.
Yep, totally. Yep. Can you give me an F? So the Rape Lucretia, the flowers bring to every year, those like first 4 phrases in the aria, or after you've done a recit that's like super dramatic and all over the place, and then you're like, okay, this is just me singing slow notes.
Yeah, but that's all support. So here's your F.
Flowers bring to every year the same perfection. Even their root and leaf keep solemn vow in pretty detail.
Okay. I think you're going too far, too fast, too soon with the lean.
Okay.
And so you get to the end and you got nothing, you got no more that you can flow through.
It really feels like that. It doesn't always, but in that piece, that is regularly the...
Yep. Okay. So you're going to start here. This is where the phrase begins. We're going to put phrase into physical space. Okay. So phrase begins with the inhale, and with the inhale, you open your arms. Okay. Now the phrase exists between here and here. Okay. So this isn't my rep, so I don't know this by heart. So I'm just going to do this on like something that I know. Okay. So I am not going to get back here until I am done phonating. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to inhale. You see, I'm not, if I'm holding that note, I'm still, okay? Yeah. So this is on the inhale, and then use your hands and move the phrase, and you're not done until you're here. Okay, try it.
Okay.
Any one of the phrases, doesn't matter. So inhale, open.
Flowers bring to every year the same perfection.
Ah, but you finished and you were here.
Yeah.
And did you notice you were halfway through, but you were still out here?
Okay.
So this is about connecting brain to breath so that
Yeah.
you can actually know where you are in the phrase and know where you need to move through more. Flowers, ba da 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 da. Okay, halfway done. Here,
Yeah.
I see it. Because now you can physically see, and you're not going to go too far, too fast, too soon, because you see where you need to go. So let's do it one more time. Because I felt like this last time, yeah, same phrase. I felt like this last time you were holding back a little bit, and so you got here, and you could have moved through more of the momentum. Okay, so do it again.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, I'm already ahead of.
Yeah. Okay, one more time.
Flowers bring to every year the same perfection.
Yeah. Were you out of breath?
Pardon?
Were you out of breath?
No.
Did it feel like you were holding?
No.
No. Because you guys, this is part mindset, part technique. We had to link mind and body in that moment and give her something visible, invisible space for her to see, oh, here I am in the phrase and I'm right about in the middle. Okay, I can continue to flow through. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great exercise when you have a long phrase. And so you're going to do it one more time and see if you can notice how you're using your flow into your container. Because then you're going to drop your hands and you can still visualize it, but you're not going to, obviously you can't be in a show doing this, you know what I'm saying? But the bridge then is in the noticing, oh, right, this is what it feels like as I'm doing this. This is what that flow feels like. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not holding back. I'm just that consistent, steady flow through that this creates so that when you don't use your arms, you know what that feels like and you can recreate it. Right? So that's what you get to do in your own practice is do it more with the noticing. There is some stuff that I want to address with you though when it comes to your resonance space because things just live too far back and too low. But that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do resonance. Tomorrow we're going to do shape and space of resonance. And I think it's
going to say I've had 2 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours.
So, you know, fair enough.
So like it feels like everything's I didn't warm up before.
That's okay. So tomorrow we're going to be talking more about that stuff, you guys. So which is how we link because it's not ever just one thing. It's it's the foundations of breath support. But then it's when we have that stability, what else is happening up here in the shape and space of resonance to help us get the sound that we want, or that might be sabotaging the sound that we want. And a lot of times when that stability is not set, other things in here come in to create that, or there's other habits that get set up that are independent of what's going on with the support. And so we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. And maybe we can continue on with that. Okay, you guys, let's see. Okay, so we're at time. I'm happy to play with one more of you because I saw so many of you had your hands raised. Kathia, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you noticing as you've been doing the lip trills and as you were playing along with everybody? Are you feeling like you've able to kind of embody it? Or are you feeling like it's kind of touch and go? What are you noticing?
I feel like I still contract a bit instead of like flexing the way you said like earlier.
You feels like it's contracting?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Are you standing up or can you stand up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's just do it on a hiss first, okay? So let's find that like 4-beat hiss. And just see if you can concentrate on, again, I want you to feel your ribs and I want you to put the other hand on your support. Not in the middle, you guys. It's never about the middle. You can feel it really good on your obliques. Yep, there you go. Okay, so just do a few short hisses into your hands. And see if you can flex into your hands to get that hiss. Just a few short ones. Okay, so do you feel your body wanting to this? You feel that?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't need to move as much air as I think you do, okay? It's the idea of like, there's an analogy here that's escaping me. It's an idea of down instead of needing to push the air up and out. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I want you to imagine that the hiss, like your mouth is not here, okay? You're like a creature where no mouth here. The mouth is between your legs, okay? And no, I'm not getting saucy here. Mouth is between your legs, okay? And I want you to see if you can use these muscles of support to send the hiss out between your legs. That way. Can you try that? Yes. Do you notice how you're not like collapsing anymore?
Yes.
Okay, so now, same thing, but you're gonna hiss over a duration. So it's gonna be 4 beats, down and out between your legs. That way. But don't give in. So you started good, and then as you hiss, did you notice you kind of were like, yeah. Don't give in. Keep the integrity of the container. So flow through that feeling of down and out between your legs. Try it again. Yes, keep. Yes. What do you notice about that? What does that feel like? Is there like a sensation, an image, a feeling?
Yeah, I feel like more relaxed when I do that. And
yeah,
then I
because you
feel
were
like
you were working too hard before. You were whack. Okay, so number 1, remember that feeling. That's the quarter that got you the gumball. So you guys, this is an analogy I use all the time. You put in the quarter, you get the gumball. If she wants to experience that again in her support, the quarter she has to give herself is that feeling of down and out between her legs, and that feeling of don't need to work so hard. If you condition those 2 intentions before each time you do a lip trill, you will get the same, your body will respond to what your mind is telling it, and you will get the same outcome. So if you're practicing and you're not practicing those intentions, most of the time you're just gonna end up with the old habit, okay? So for you, when you practice, it's like down and out, less is more. Down and out, between my legs, less is more, okay? And now we're gonna do it on a lip trill, but do not change those intentions. Do not change how you're using your body. So just pick a pitch and find the lip trill. Do you know how to turn your original sound on? Okay, never mind. I don't want to waste time. I can hear you enough to do it. So you had the first lip trill, the first pitch was good. As you start to slide up, slide more into that feeling of down and out between your legs. What creates the pitch rise, like I was saying earlier, is that gentle increase of that energy in the opposite direction. Try it. Yes. So even though the sound is glitchy because she doesn't have her original sound on, I'm watching her body and I can tell that she's doing it right. How did that feel to you?
It feels more relaxed.
Yeah. Okay, so now, again, we're going to put syllables on it. Don't change anything about how you're using your body, okay? Okay, but what do you notice? What happened?
I feel like I was more like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
So I'll mirror back to you what I saw, which is that now that we're articulating pitches, your body decided it was gonna still send it out between your legs, but it was gonna go on and off that every time you changed pitch. Instead of what you did on the lip trill. So how gooey and slurpy derpy can you slide between In the same way, okay? Try to see if you can connect the dots. Yeah, slow down, like this tempo. Whoops. Slow, slow, slow. Yeah, close. You're adding some pitches, so let me sing it back to you just so you can hear it. Ma, mo, mu. Yes. And do you notice how it's much less airy because you're sliding and connecting the dots. You're sliding between pitch. You're not supporting this pitch, coming off and then supporting the next pitch and then coming off and then supporting the next pitch, okay? So now, if you think of, a verse of something or a chorus of something, like is there a song that comes to mind?
Yes.
Okay, so what is it?
Should I sing it?
Just tell me what it is first.
Is How He Loves Us. That's the title of the.
Okay, so let's just take one line from this, okay? And that same feeling, that connection, mama, like if I was doing Amazing Grace, that consistency, put it into the lyrics of yours, okay?
He's jealous.
But wait, hold up. I'm so glad that this happened because this is textbook. She started to sing before she phonated. I'm sorry, before she supported. She started to phonate before she supported. Okay, so find that feeling of flex before the first, what's the first word again?
He is jealous of me.
He, okay.
Yeah.
So before the H, support first. So he, I'm getting into my flex and flow before the H. Can you play with that in your own body?
Mm-hmm. He is jealous of me.
Okay, that was better. Now, you did support before the first pitch, and it was nice and resonant. And then for the next pitch, though, because it's a descending pitch, body went in the direction of the pitch. So we got he is instead of his. This increases. I'm going to exaggerate, but watch. He is. You can really see it up here. He is. As I lean and apoyo, I continue to flex as I descend. Can you try it in your own body?
Mm-hmm. He's jealous of me.
Can you do it as a siren? So go E, just on an E, and you're going to go out and down between your legs. E. But I got this note, and I got this note, and I need everything in between. I want to hear he. I want to hear all the semitones. Try again. Down between your legs.
He.
Right. Because see, your body is used to letting go of your support in order to get down. You're going he. And I'm asking you to do the opposite. He. And so her mind there for a second was like, wait a second, how do we change pitch without letting go of this? I could see your face going like, wait. Okay, lean in to flow through that flex. That's what creates the change on the slide. He. One more time. Into your obliques. No, your body is terrified to change pitch because it feels like if it knows it's not supposed to let go of its support. And so it's flowing through the support, but it's staying on the same pitch because the habit is the only way that body knows how to change pitch is to let go of that support, okay? So just be aware, it's not your hip, it's your oblique. Yes, there you go. So can you lip trill into your hand, into this hand? Yes. So do you notice how you're able to do the slide on the lip trill?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pay attention to what your body is doing to create that? Do it again. Right. Do you notice how this continues to flex? I can see it. Do you feel that?
Yes.
What does it feel like to you?
It feels like, I'm getting like more like supports.
Because you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So that feeling on an E siren, E, literally do not change how you're using your body from the lip trill. Uh-huh. Can you slow it down and luxuriate in the gooiness of that slide? E. Uh-huh. Do you know, how does a doggy cry, right? A doggy goes, mm, mm, mm. Can you imitate that? Can you imitate a doggy whining? Okay, so when she's imitating the dog whining, she's able to get from here to here. Your body knows how to do this. Your body knows how to do this, Keithia. It literally just went from here to here. Do the doggy cry and notice how that feels in your body, because it's right. You're supporting it. Try. Yes. Now do that on cry on an E. Doggy cry on an E. E. Yes. Good. Now one more time, and I really want you to see if you can lean into the integrity of your container as you do it. E. There we go. Okay. So he is that slide. Don't change how you're using your body just because you're going to put words on it. It's the doggy cry. Try it.
To sing or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But use the doggy cry feeling. Don't use your habit.
He's jealous of me.
Oh, yeah. Now it's so much more resonant. It's not as airy. It's much more connected. Do it one more time, and I want you to take it to 25. That feeling of connected resistance. He is jealous of. Go for it. 25 on a scale of 10.
He's jealous of me.
Yes. And now we're getting more resonance. We're getting more tone. It's not as airy. What does that feel like to you?
It feels like I'm not like straining my voice because I have like supports. Because when I was singing, I felt like I was like, pushing hard to sing like that first notes.
Because you were before.
Yeah.
Now you're much more efficient. It's what's happening down here is stabilizing your diaphragm so that it's not pushing up all this air. Because and then when you push up all this air, your body doesn't want that flood, and so it grabs in here to create a dam to prevent all that excess air from coming out that you were pushing. So now you're feeling a lot of tension. When you do it efficiently and you find this is what's managing your air, not this, then this can stay open and we get a more resonant tone and it's easier. So you guys, thank you, Kanithia. That was great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The lesson here is if it feels like you're working hard, you are. When you do it right, it feels easy. Like it really does. It's like the sweet spot on a tennis racket. You guys play tennis, like when the ball hits that sweet spot, you don't even feel the impact of it. This is the same thing. And so what we're going to be learning more and more about the rest of this week is the sweet spot, which is what she just experienced when support is working for you and your body is working for you instead of sabotaging it and making it feel like it's working hard against you. Okay. So great work today, you guys. Thank you to everybody who volunteered. And so the homework, sorry, I had my notes that I was making sure that I didn't forget anything. The homework is the hiss to the lip trill to the okay, and the MP3s to practice those are in the workbook under day 2 homework. Important, you guys, that you practice doesn't matter. How you practice does. So practice the how. not the what. So you'll notice after everybody's saying, I asked, what did that feel like to you? Was there an image, a sensation? How are you going to recreate that in your own practice, right? Practice the how, the intentions, not the what. And don't listen to yourself. Feel yourself. Your job is to recreate the feeling of the good sound, not the sound of the good sound, because what it sounds like in your head is not what it sounds like out here to us. And you guys know that. You've heard yourself on an answering machine or a voicemail and you're like, is that me, right? You can't trust what it sounds like in your head. And too many of you guys are so busy manipulating it so that it sounds big and beefy and strong and all the things in your head. But out here, it doesn't sound good. It sounds manipulated. It sounds pushed, okay? So if you coach, if you're a guinea pig, or as you're in your own practice, get used to the feeling that you want to recreate. Stop listening to yourself for the sound, okay? So tomorrow, we're going to build on this. Right now, you've got half the equation. So if you think of the stability that enables, maximum stability like a boat, you've got your anchor now, that's your support, but you need your sail if you're going to go anywhere, okay? So tomorrow, I'm going to give you the other half of the equation and give you the rocket fuel for getting consistent high-level performance impact with all of this out of your technique. And this is all about what I call energetic sound direction. So we're going to get into that tomorrow. This is the rocket fuel for your consistency. This is the ammunition that taps you into the maximum potential of your sound. So you've got a better understanding now with these tools for rock solid support, but it's not enough. We're talking about breaking through to elite levels, so you need the rest. So don't miss tomorrow. Get on your homework tonight. Continue doing your meditation, and I will see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everybody.